Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today we have a very special episode. I am joined by Kiwi Chest, aka Austin. Say hi.
Hey guys, how you doing? Shout out to NetChess for inviting me on. Super pumped to get a little game going here.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing a high-rated bot. We're gonna be playing a 2,000 rated bot, Lee, and we're gonna play hand and brain chess, where I'm gonna be the hand and he's gonna be the brain. So I think it'll be pretty fun. And yeah, we're gonna just get right into it. Are you ready, Austin?
Yeah, yeah, man, let's make it happen.
Cool
So,
beans. Well, we're playing with the black pieces, and they started off with E4.
all right, pawn.
So I know you played the Sicilian. I played the Sicilian. Are you thinking we just go C5?
I don't know, man. All I can say is pawn.
Pawn. Okay.
I think a C pawn move either way is good to go.
I like it. I like it. I like it. So I played C5, and the computer has played knight to F3.
All right, knight.
All right. So I know that my boy Kiwi is thinking knight C6. Whereas I would be a goober and play something like knight F6 and get chased away in one move. So we're going to play knight C6.
Sweet.
Our opponent plays D4.
All right, pawn.
We're going to take on D4.
All right.
They recapture with their knight on D4.
All right. So here's where our opening repertoire is a little bit different, right? Because you've been playing the dragon.
Yep.
I've been playing the accelerated dragon, and I actually don't know the move order for the dragon. So
No, it's okay. We've passed where I'm playing the dragon. I haven't played D6, which is usually
you
my
usually
second
play
move.
D6.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so that's the slow part actually. So the only other difference is that we go for the same positions basically, right?
Yeah.
And we're still always trying to get D5 in if we can. That's being the ultimate goal, right? If you can play D5, go for it.
Right.
And yeah, so we're in the same territory here. This is why I wanted to play with the black pieces so that we were I was at least in your, ballpark.
Okay. So she played knight d4.
Yes.
So let's make a pawn move, and we'll see what pawn move you make.
Uh-oh. All right. So I'm thinking G6 just because I think the accelerated dragon, we definitely want to get fianchettoed pretty much right away. And I think we're okay if he wants to take the knight, or if Lee's a girl, sorry. If Lee wants to take the knight, I think we're okay. So I'm thinking G6. I would normally have played like D6 here already, but I'm going to stay in the spirit of Kiwi, and we're going to play G6.
All right, g6 it is. Yeah, I know you watched some of my videos, so you're probably just as familiar with the accelerated dragon as I am.
Kind of. I just don't play it, right? I just watch you play it. But
Right.
our opponent is pretty intimidating. They're playing pretty instantly, man. They're like confident. And she just immediately played C4.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So we have, and so this is actually funny because this is something that doesn't happen to the dragon Sicilian. It's actually not a real, well, you just don't get it, because you've played like D6 already and stuff like that. So I'm not familiar at all. I know that this is one of the most troubling things white can do against
Yeah,
black.
this is like the most challenging response to the accelerated dragon that Marozi buy into. Okay, so let's go knight.
Uh-oh. I think you're thinking of taking the knight, is what I think you're thinking of. Because, well, I could play knight to F6. If I played knight F6, he can't, like, push the pawn or anything, necessarily. We've given up on immediately putting the bishop on G7. So it's one of these two knight moves. I think taking is fine, but it develops as queen. I'm gonna play knight to F6. I think. Let me just double check. Yeah, I'm gonna play knight to F6. Maybe it
Okay.
wasn't what you thought, but Okay, they play knight to c3.
Am I allowed to tell you if that's what I was thinking or not?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that is the right move.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Because I was like,
It's a
I don't think taking was what I wanted. Is what?
yeah.
Why is it
It's
the
a
right move?
very specific move order that Chili and I have prepped. Well, he
Okay.
prepped for me against the Marozzi.
Now
So
let me
it's
ask you this: is knight c3 in that prep like at all? Them playing knight
knight.
c3?
Oh yeah, that's the main move for sure.
Okay.
You got to because knight f6 develops attacking the e4 pawn, so they have to defend it.
Okay. So
And
very normal move, and I see this in the dragon too, right? Like when they go to play like what is it, the Albin? Is it the Alapin? Where
Alpin
yeah,
Sicilian.
yeah. And I play a quick knight f6 usually to put pressure on the e4 pawn, and it actually kind of makes them either have to defend with like their queen or their bishop or something. In this case, he gets to do it simply with his knight.
Right.
Okay, so they've played knight c3. What do we think, coach?
So the move here is a pawn move.
Fuck. Excuse my French. I might have to edit that out. I'm glad. I'm glad. Because that was one of those I didn't mean to say that. All right. So
Playing the Sicilian as a 2v1 versus a 2000 bot is actually like this is gonna be really hard, bro. This is gonna be really hard.
it is hard already, and I'll tell you right now, I'm excited. I'm here for every moment. All right. So a pawn move. So
Okay, I'm gonna give you a hint, okay? Because I feel
Okay.
like we're at a disadvantage.
Okay.
This is a move that is so specific to your Dragon Sicilian that it should just you kind of want to play this move anyway. Like maybe you've already played this move.
Okay, so D6 would be kind of what I was thinking there. Which is good because I was gonna play E6, or I was gonna look at E6 as like one of my options. So I'm gonna play D6, and I'm assuming that we have reached, dude. We have the same coach. We're playing the Sicilian. We got this, dude. We're gonna beat them. Like they.
All right, let's do it.
So
money.
we played D6. They rapid fired back with Bishop to E2.
Okay, Bishop E2. Okay,
So
that's a little different. Okay.
that's pretty calm, right? That's a calm move.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, what they're trying to do here is they are trying to cover the G4 square, so that way they can play Bishop E3 and Queen D2 without necessarily worrying about having to play F3 first to cover the G4 square. So,
Okay. And that is inhibiting. That's going to inhibit our knight from jumping to G4 to help protect from them trying to trade off the dark squared bishops in the future, maybe, right?
yeah, exactly. So basically, D6 is a waiting move that allows your opponent to potentially make a mistake, where a lot of times people in the dragon, accelerated dragon, all that stuff will play bishop e3, queen d2, and if they play that without playing f3, then it allows knight g4. So we're playing d6 to give them the space to make that mistake, and when they play bishop e2, they're basically saying that I will never make that mistake even on accident because my bishop now covers g4.
Okay.
So,
And this move also was nice because it allowed our bishop to see G4 as well here. I know in the dragon we or the Sicilian dragon we do this a lot, and this bishop ends up being our light squared bishop on C8 ends up being one of the last pieces that I kind of decide where it wants to go, just because it has pretty good scope after I've played D6. So
well, we're getting a lot into it.
no, that's
think,
fine.
we
That's how it should be. I mean, it's not timed, right? So we have all the time in the world, and if anything, all you're saying is pawn, knight. I got to find the move still. So talking over the position is kind of a way that I can maybe hone into your mind. It's my telepathic powers.
Maybe I'm cheating a little bit and giving you too much info, but the next move is a bishop move.
It is a bishop move. Okay. I'm thinking bishop to g7. Just simply trying to finish our fianchetto and being one step closer to being castled. I guess with something else in mind, if I moved the light squared bishop, I could move that to... I know that me and Chili have talked about playing like bishop to e6 sometimes, which is I don't like that the knight can take, but I know that we've had talks about how taking back with that f pawn can be good for you. Um, but I think we're too far away from castling to maybe do something. I'm gonna play bishop g7.
Okay.
So bishop g7 is what we got. He takes my
Right.
knight on c6 immediately. They're
Okay.
so confident.
Pawn.
R- robots are scary.
Yeah. Did you hear me? I was saying pawn.
Oh, you said pawn. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna take, right? So
Okay.
take on c6.
All right.
They castled.
All right. King.
All right, we're going to castle as well. They have now kind of gone with what you're saying. So they haven't played f3, but they played bishop to e3.
Bishop to e3. Very normal. Um, and I will say that I made an inaccuracy at some point. Just a heads up. So
Ooh.
let's. Ooh. Man, no, I'm trying to remember.
It's okay. I mean, this is hard. You can talk it through with me. That's kind of the point of this whole series. Is I'm lower
Okay.
rated. I'm down to talk with you about the positions, and that's
Okay.
why
All right.
that's why we chose. It worked out just perfectly, right? I didn't like make it this way, but I wanted to play Sicilian this game with you so that we could
Hmm.
kind of talk it out. And I still don't know the move to play, right? But we can talk about the positions, and I should be pretty familiar with some of them. So
Hmm. So basically, the inaccuracy was the bishop move.
okay,
The what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take on d4,
okay,
allowing queen takes, and then playing bishop g7. But I just
wow,
like we were talking and I forgot where
it's
my head
okay.
was. So um, now in this position, I think we should play a bishop move.
Okay, a bishop move. The
Hmm.
knight is no longer up in my grill, and
Hmm.
I am looking at a move like just knight e6. To me, that looks like a cool move. It gets the bishop out. I could also play a move like knight, or excuse me, bishop b7, and maybe think about trying to push like a c5 or something in the future. The reason I don't like knight e6 or bishop e6 is because it is maybe stopping me from ever playing e6 d5 sort of things maybe, but I think the whole point of this bind is that they have such good control of d5 now. It's kind of hard for me to ever play that move. So with a bishop move in mind, we don't have many squares. Let's look at it. I have d7, e6, and we could do b7, and then I also have a6, which is kind of a weird idea too. I'm going to play. Oh my goodness. Let's go with a bishop to b7 blocks that rook. Oh man, I like b7 a lot because I'm looking at pushing the pawn, putting pressure on their e4 pawn. But I guess they could just defend. Let's play bishop to e6. I think that's maybe
Okay.
not what you wanted, but it's what I'm going for here. Okay, they played a pretty fast-paced move. They played queen to a4.
Queen to a4.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that makes sense. Give me one sec.
It's okay.
Suggestion. I have the analysis board open to do the moves. There's no, I don't have any lines or the evaluation or anything, but I still had the threat arrows.
Sure.
So it was just showing the threats, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cheating, so let's not do that. Okay. So,
Obviously, we have a threat on the c6 pawn right now.
yeah, he's attacking c6. He's also attacking a7.
Yeah.
So, I think that we should make a queen move.
Okay. So my immediate thought is I don't have many options that defend both, so I'm thinking queen c7. Um, let's double check, blunder check, make sure I'm not really dropping the ball here. Queen c8 isn't as good. It doesn't defend that a7 pawn. So yeah, we're gonna play queen to c7.
Right?
He plays rook to e1.
Which rook?
Oh, sorry. Rook A to e1.
Rook A to E1.
Yeah, that's a weird move, right?
Yeah, that's something. That's something.
All we need is this computer to malfunction, dog. Like
Yeah,
once they
that's
play
all
a
we
bunch
need.
of good moves in a row, it's gonna lose its mind and it's gonna mess up.
All right, so looking at that move, it doesn't really make any threats.
Right, I agree.
It doesn't really do much. I think that what he wants to do here is he wants to push f4, f5, and our bishop is going to be in the worst possible location for that to happen.
Yes, it
Our light
is.
squared bishop. So,
I can
um,
yeah, I think that makes sense. And it is in the worst spot ever for that. So I guess I see that. That might have been my mistake there.
no, no, it's not. Nothing's happened yet. Just thinking about its plans because that'll help us shape our plan, you know?
Yep,
So,
I agree.
I think that we need to play with life in the position and not just immediately react to everything that it's doing. So I'm going to go ahead and play or suggest a rook move.
A rook move. Okay. Well, my rook on the A file is busy doing a job. It's kind of protecting stuff. So I think that we like rooks on open files, and maybe rook F to B8 should be the move. Hopefully that's what we're talking about here. I also have rook to D8, and maybe thinking about pushing D5. But I think that rook B8 is just better and has an immediate threat. I'm going to play rook B8. All right. Our opponent comes quickly, swiftly, and confidently with B3.
B3, solid,
Yep.
normal. Okay, so this loosens up the knight.
I
It loosens up the dark square diagonal.
I
It
agree.
um
Our bishop could become the monster we always hoped it would be.
So if we play, it's possible.
Hey, Austin.
Yeah.
Did you have your
Can you
coffee? Yeah, sorry. Did you have your coffee this morning?
I did.
Nice.
I have.
Hey, let's show him. Let's show him. Yeah, I love it.
Alright,
I love
baby.
it.
Oh, jeez, the ring light is like roasting it.
It is.
It's not gonna work. But
That's
yeah, it's the.
Mine's a black mug, so it absorbs the sun.
There you go. Yeah, dude, I love coffee with all my heart. So
Yeah, I'm a black coffee drinker. I drink at least a pot a day.
a pot?
Yeah,
No.
I'm heavy-handed with it.
Jesus, bro, that is
We have a
Okay.
we have a Keurig at work, and I freaking hate it because I think it is so despicable to make one cup of coffee at a time. I hate it
That
so
is-
much.
It probably tastes really weak to you too. You're
Yeah.
probably like me. You like dark roast, strong ass coffee.
Yep. Today is actually a weird day. I went with like a hazelnut, which is my light version of coffee, and it's the only, I guess, flavored. It's not really flavored, but you know what I mean. It's the only like offbeat coffee I drink, really.
That's really funny because if I had to pick a flavor for a coffee syrup, then I usually go for hazelnut too.
Ah, man, there you go. Yeah, there's no syrup in mine. It's just coffee. It's hazelnut flavored. It's straight up black coffee.
You know what I
but-
mean?
No,
Just
I
like
do.
the flavoring in general. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so I think that our path to victory against this bot is going to be improving our position and playing solid maneuvering chess because in the Sicilian, especially in the way that they've played it in this Maroxy bind, it's more positional. It feels more positional. It feels less like we're going to blow each other off the board. We're castled on the same side. So I'm interested in just kind of improving our position, and I'm interested in trying to just make subtle threats here and there while maneuvering our pieces to better places,
I like that.
grander pastures. So
Solid game
um,
plan.
in the spirit of that idea, I think that I am going to propose a knight move.
Ooh. Okay. So not too many options here that are. I mean, if I played knight to g4, he can just take with the light squared bishop. We would take. I mean, that would be something, right? I can't take on if we move the knight. I can't just take e4, right? It's defended by his knight at the moment. It would open up. Oh yeah, that would just give up a piece. It looks like. Um, So definitely not going knight h5. That looks terrible, right? Definitely not doing that. So we'll just not even have that as a move. And then obviously knight to d5 is not something we want to do. I mean, knight to h5 is an immediate threat, but he could just take the knight. I could take his knight. We're threatening his rook. I don't think that that's the maneuvering positionally thing you were talking about, though. I think we could put the knight in a better place and still threaten their knight. So let's go. So I'm looking at knight d7, like a backwards knight move. Or like, yeah, going kind of to a different spot on the board. I like that. But it blocks my bishop, my light squared bishop, if I do that, from being able to retreat.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry I'm taking so long. I'm slow with this
No, you're
sometimes.
good.
Um,
You're
so
not supposed to do it all instantly. I mean, it took me a while to figure out an idea of what to play. So
knight e8 is kind of a sad looking move. But maybe it's got prospects in the future. I like knight d7. That's just me personally. I think knight h5 is kind of a stupid move. I also think the knight g4 is just kind of a we're threatening the dark squared bishop and we're threatening his knight. If he takes the knight, we take I can take his knight back, right? That would be what I would do. And then we're still threatening the knight. Sugar. So my decision right now is between knight g4 and knight d7. That's what I'm looking at. I've deduced that those are the two better options, I think. So I think I like knight d7 just because it keeps pieces on the board. And in the spirit of what you just said earlier, that's what I'm going to play. Knight d7.
all right.
He defended the knight by playing rook to c1. So rook e to c1. Because, yeah.
Rook c1.
Yep.
Okay. Valid.
It kind of was a waste of him moving it over to e1, right? Or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So now we have a knight that has good control of at least e5 and c5. They're not pawn breaks that we have right there or anything, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
our knight could also potentially threaten the queen. The bishop is kind of there, but
Right.
I would be cool to trade off their dark squared bishop, I think, for a knight.
Mm-hmm.
We could also blot out the sun and play a move like c5 and then threaten the queen, but
I will say that c5 at any point in these positions, I think, would be a fundamental error.
okay.
Because their game plan is centered around what you said earlier and their massive control over d5.
Yeah,
If
and
we play c5, then they're just going to plop a knight on d5 and just rail us.
yeah, no, you're right. No, I see what you mean. I agree. It's kind of a we lose what little control we have of d5 doing playing c5. So
Right.
I envisioned us keeping that c pawn there for maybe a little while and just enjoying the fact that we do have a pawn helping cover like basically all four squares like e5, d5, c5 and b5 are kind of controlled by us right now just by two pawns.
Right. So let's make another knight move.
Ooh. Okay. Um. So I can jump in. I could jump into e5 with the knight. What am I doing there though, other than blocking my bishop again? If he wanted me to play knight to g4, I could get back there if that's what if that's what the game is. I could threaten the queen immediately if he takes on. So if I played knight to b6, he takes on b6 with his bishop, right? Uh, just say he does. He doesn't have to, but if he does take, I could actually take with the pawn, and that's an immediate threat on the queen. I could take with the rook, and uh, I don't know. I don't know if doubling on this file is ever going to be advantageous. I could also, in that position, take with the queen. Um, I like knight b6. I also like knight e5 too. I think that's a good move too. I just don't know what I would do after that. But I'm gonna go with my gut, and it might be the wrong move, but I'm gonna play knight to b6.
Okay, knight b6.
So he pins my queen by playing queen to a5, basically.
Queen to a5. Very
Yep.
normal move. Um, in a way, this helps us because you see that we also have the rook and the queen aligned right now, so we don't really want the queen to be where it is anyway.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I think we should play a queen move.
Where to move the queen?
Where oh where?
Queen to b7 is kind of a move, right? Queen to d7 is a move. Getting on light squares. I like that my queen is defending c6, but it's not under attack right now. If I do go queen to d7, it blocks my light squared bishop again from potentially backstepping if it ever needed to. But that's not. These are all ghosts. I don't think there's a threat right now of that. Queen to b7 looks all right. I just don't. I don't know. Queen to b7. I just don't see the follow-ups from moving the queen to any of these squares.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, we're playing positionally, so as long as everything's kind of defended, fort's held down. I do notice that the queen is helping defend that knight on c3 again. His queen is. So he's got two defenders on that now. I would like to get
Right.
my queen out and about eventually, but maybe that's the wrong idea. I think queen to b7 is a good move. I like it more than playing queen d7. And I don't think that playing like queen to the back rank is necessarily what we want either. And it would step our queen out of the pin, getting it off the dark squares. So I think queen to b7 is what I'm going to play. So we played it.
Queen
Ooh.
b7.
Yeah. And this is kind of what I was worried about. They pushed the pawn. They played c5.
c5.
Yep.
Okay. So c5 opens up his light squared bishop. C5 attacks the knight.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's the most obvious part about it. It also. So if we go there, takes. Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh.
Let me ask you this.
What?
Do you think this is innately bad for us, or do you think that this is like something that happens in this kind of position?
It's definitely not great.
Okay.
It doesn't feel good right now.
That's how I felt the same way. Yeah, I felt the same way. So
Yeah. No, I never anticipated him making this move. So let's make a knight move here.
so I'm looking at knight to d7. I think that that's probably knight to d7. It attacks the pawn, but if he takes, we would take back. We would still have two pawns in the center. If I played knight to c8, which is basically my only other move, we could defend the pawn if he takes, right? I could recapture with the knight if I wanted to there. Oh boy. All right, so knight c8 or knight to d7. Which one do we like more? If I played knight d7 and he takes, I mean, we do mess up our pawn structure a bit, but we would get center pawns, or we'd still have two pawns fighting for the center. If I play knight to c8, we could still have two. We could still have pawns doing that. I could take with the pawn, but if he'd captured, I would probably think about taking with the knight. That would give us an isolated pawn, though. Isolated queen's pawn. Um, so knight move. Jeez Louise. Feel so bad, Austin. I know you're working hard for us to stay in the green here. I don't want to make the wrong one. At least I know in this position it's a 50-50, and I deserve to lose if I pick the wrong one. I think that knight d7 just feels better, but yeah, I'm gonna do it, dude. Knight to d7 is what I'm going for. He
Okay.
takes. He takes. Yeah, he takes on d6.
All right, pawn.
Yeah. So we take back.
Okay.
Now, this is the moment where he has decided to push that f4 that we were.
F4.
Yeah. So our bishop is potentially gonna get hit here shortly.
It is. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Okay. So let's think. Let's think. Let's think. Wow, that is a good move.
Well, so I'm looking at this now, and maybe you did see this, or maybe I messed up or something, but I think that him playing c5 was not at least what I was banking on him playing, and so he's lost some of the pressure that he had on that d5 square from doing that.
He has, yeah. I was not anticipating him playing C5 in any position.
Yeah, I didn't.
Um,
I didn't either. So I'm glad you're saying that because I didn't think he would play that. But it's weird now, and he's trying to pressure us on the king side now. But I think that us having this more ability to play d5 or deal with d5 kind of things is still helpful. But we need to worry about our bishop still.
yeah, F4 makes a solid threat. So we basically need to move the knight.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agreed. I think that we could almost go back, but I also thought that maybe we could if we go forward, he could take and just win a pawn. Is why I don't think we can go like knight c5 or anything like that. I mean, maybe we
hmm
can, but I think we're just gonna lose a pawn there. But I think going back even to knight to b6 even strengthens our chokehold on d5 even more and allows us to even take the bishop away again if we wanted to. That's my thought on it. I don't know if you agree or not, but I do think the knight move would be ideal. Another move is knight f8, no mate dog, right? So we could drop the bishop back and kind of like deal with impending threats that way, like defensively. Um, but I like knight to b6 is what I think is a decent. If I was playing in the game with no 1800 helping me choose between the piece moves, then that's what I
Right.
would have done. But there's a reason I'm 1300 and you, my friend, have reached 1900. You were leaps and bounds.
I don't know about leaps and bounds.
Oh, dude, whatever. You scholar, you're scholar. You're awesome, man. I need to play some over the board tournaments. That's one thing that you do that I think I want to start doing. I think that would be fun, and
I need to do more. Dude, well, we gotta meet up, man. We
we'll
gotta
do
do
it.
some of this stuff in person.
Oh
You're
yeah,
so close
yeah. It's not
compared to
far.
like everybody else.
I have trips to Baltimore and Maryland and stuff like that too. So maybe if I can catch some extra time after one of those trips one day, I can come visit like your lovely Maryland state.
Yeah. There's nothing lovely about it, bro.
Crabs, man. Y'all got the crab as your state bird or whatever, right? It's a
Big
crab.
bird. This guy. um, yeah, dude, we love our blue crabs around these parts. So,
I like the
that's for
crab.
sure.
He's very artistically drawn. Like So you
So
were
where are
talking
we
about
moving
the.
tonight?
Oh, so it is a knight move. That's what you're.
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to make sure. So we're gonna play knight to b6. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Ooh, he brings his or all right. He immediately plays bishop to a6.
Yep. Saw that one coming. Um, okay, so this is going to get a little bit hairy now. I think that there's one specific move that I'm being drawn to being played.
Uh oh. That
Um, yeah, that makes it dangerous, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a queen move. It's got to be a queen move, right? Like,
Yeah,
got to be a queen move. I'm looking
yeah.
at. I don't want to get back pinned, but I was looking at just queen c7 or something. But maybe throwing the queen all the way. I. I mean,
Yeah,
would it?
it is a queen move
Yeah. I
for
mean,
sure.
I think that was easy to deduce, but that was just my caveman brain kicking in survival mode. It's like gotta move queen. Um. Definitely can't stay on the light squares, right? Or well, at least on this diagonal. So
Hmm.
c8 out of the picture. Um, I don't like queen to d7 either because it, like I said, blocks their bishop from potentially living his best life. Um, living my best life. I like queen e7. And I also like queen c7.
Hmm.
Luckily, there's only four moves for me to choose from, and I've taken away two. Hopefully, one of them. Hopefully, you were not thinking queen to d7 because I think that just instigates trouble. But what do I know? Let's let's play queen to shit. Queen c7, queen e7. What's the thought of queen e7? What is my plan? Queen e7 helps defend a pawn, loses defense of the c pawn. Queen, but I can get. I have like an open diagonal to get out and do things. Maybe more active queen like that. Queen c7. I'm still defensive. I'm holding the knight, but I'm back in that pin. Um, I want him to take my knight. Like that would be great, right? Like I think we want. I think that would be something we want. But maybe that's just me. I want to play queen to. Oh, sugar. It's a specific move, and if I do the wrong one, there's so much on the line here, Austin. So much. All
Yeah,
right.
don't screw it up.
Oh my gosh, that just makes it so much better. Oh my gosh. All right. I want to play queen to. I want to play queen to. Oh my gosh, this is not fun. All right, queen to c7 is what I'm doing. Maybe that's off, but
Queen to
ah,
c7.
yeah,
She played f5, didn't she?
yep. So is
Yeah.
that why? What? All right, was I right or wrong? Was it queen to e7 that you were looking at?
Um, in my opinion, we needed to play queen e7 because on f4 when we move the bishop, now he's going to have f6 defended by the rook, and that is lights out for our dark squared bishop, bro. Like he's going to have a really good bind on the dark squares for the rest of the game, and our king's going to be weak.
No. See, this is that high level stuff that I'm not seeing. I thought Issa I felt pressured, so I kind of made
You're
the
good, dude.
move that I
You're
thought
good.
was I thought it was worse actually, but I was like maybe
It's
keeping the glue
actually
together.
my fault that we're even in this position where he's able to have such a solid game plan because I made that big inaccuracy early on.
It's
So,
okay. I mean, this is for fun. If we beat this 2000 though, you're getting to 2000. Just know that because
no, I'm getting to
that's the
2000 regardless.
Oh, I know, but you're getting there faster because superpowers, man, superpowers. Once you commit to beating a 2000, you can beat all of them. In a computer, you got it. Lee stands no chance. We got this, dude.
You know I've beaten a 2200 in a rapid game, right?
That's fantastic. Holy crap, I
Yeah.
did not know that. I did not,
Yeah, man.
dude.
All right,
I have no idea what to do here except
let's
for
make a bishop move.
okay. So we're moving the bishop. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is fair. Um, I'm gonna play. Do I want to trade off bishops? All right, so that's first step, right? Bishop to c8. Do I even want to do that? We could. It would relieve a little bit of pressure, maybe. I kind of like my light squared bishop though. I like bishops. Bishop to d7 is kind of cool, but then we're like you said, we're about to get ground and pounded with f6 next move.
We're about to get railed. No fans are
Yeah,
about it.
the UFC match is now to the ground, and we are getting destroyed. All right.
So I just threw a chair in the ring.
No, I like it. I like it. All right, I'm gonna go to make things more. I'm gonna try and trade off the light squared bishop. I think.
Okay, bishop c8.
Yeah, bishop c8.
Okay.
All right, he just goes for f6, which, I mean, we kind of saw that coming, right?
All right. Yeah, bishop.
Bishop. All right. I think we want to... Do we want to stay on the file? Because bishop h8 looks terrible. I think we want to play like something like bishop f8. Yeah. I'm going to play bishop f8 because I can't have his bishop coming to h6.
Okay, valid.
So we played bishop f8, and they responded. You know, these guys are not nice now. They smell blood. They played bishop to c4.
Bishop to c4.
I like that move personally. I think that might not be I mean, maybe it's not that good of a move. Maybe it is, but I think that we can deal with this now. I can even take that bishop. And he has to capture with the pawn. I could block the bishop out.
My brother in Christ, you can't take that bishop.
Oh, no, I can't. Yeah, the queen. No, you're right. Thank you. Thank you. Dude, telling you, man. Blessings, they help. Like, look. My brain started working all of a sudden once we bring our Sky Dad into it. He's like, nah, man. Like, can't lose the queen. Protect her. Yeah.
This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, let's go ahead and make a queen move.
I like that because then we're renewing a threat. So I want to play on. I wish I was on the E file, but alas, we are not. Let's move maybe El Quino to... You wanted E7 last time. Is going on the file still as good as we want? I want to get off the pin. So I'm going to play queen to D7. Let me just double check.
D7.
Yeah, queen D7. That's what we got. He plays. He played bishop back to D3 immediately.
Bishop back to D3. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Man. This is not looking good for the good guys.
I don't know, man. I think, good guys, it makes a better movie when the good guys have a struggle. So, nobody wants to watch Batman just easily like, hey, you're going to jail. Oh, okay. Like, I think this is just gonna, show how powerful we are by the end. I mean, we don't have Batman powers, we have Superman powers. I'm actually in a position like this. I have no idea what to do to untangle. I've never had a position like this.
This is a position that requires extreme patience and decent calculation, understanding of what he wants to do, what she wants to do.
And then also understanding that I'm probably going to play the wrong move.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good. So,
I was looking at, I mean, this is just me speaking out loud. I was looking at, like, I don't know, just because I feel so lost here. I feel like moving the queen is a fine move. I also feel like getting the stupid bishop off of c8 might be something that would be nice so we can get our rooks back into the game. So I was looking at something like bishop to b7, maybe.
Yeah, let's make a queen move, and then I'm gonna step away to use the restroom real quick.
No, you're good, and I can cut the part out. That way we don't.
No,
have to
you can just keep talking.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right, great. So I have it between queen e6 and queen e8. is basically what I was looking at. I had queen to g4 as a move, but I took that away just because I didn't like that the bishop can go to e2 maybe, or they could just play h3, and I don't know. H3 actually wouldn't be that bad, but you know what I mean. I think if they played h3, that would be great. I think, but I think they would kick us away with the bishop move, and then our queen has got to go back. So I want to play queen to e6 or queen to e8, and I'm looking. Queen e8 has a benefit of still looking at the c6 pawn. Queen e6 has the benefit of it's kind of touching on the f6 pawn, and I mean maybe we can try and win by pushing d5, like breaking some stuff open. I'm gonna play queen to e6. That's what I'm gonna play. And if wait, hold on, I haven't made the move yet. If I play queen e6 and he goes bishop to c4, if I take with the knight, he takes with the pawn. I would win a pawn there if that happened. So, and if he brings the knight in, I can take. He takes. Yeah, he can't do that. So I'm gonna play queen e6. Hopefully that's all right.
Queen e6.
All right. Times are getting tough, my friend. My friend, they played queen to g5.
Queen to g5.
And in this kind of position, my only thought is trying to put pressure on that pawn.
Yeah.
That's like my only thought is trying to put pressure on e4. I guess they could push e5. If we ever did play d5, we'd have to understand that they could just push e5 too.
Okay, let's make a bishop move.
All right, bishop move. Can't play bishop to h6. Can't play bishop to g7, and we can't play bishop to e7. So I think it's a light squared bishop move. That's just my thought. I'm gonna say bishop to b7. So
okay,
that's what we did.
All right.
They go for e5 immediately.
E5.
Yep. E5 was played. This feels terrible, right? Like this position feels kind of like rough.
It feels pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely feels pretty crazy.
They have really strong bishops in the center of the board. And the pawns are obnoxious.
All right, let's make a pawn move.
So, first look is if I just take, what does that look like? If we take, he takes back with the queen. I could take with the, or I can't take with the queen. You tell me to take with the pawn if I did that. So take with the pawn. He can't take back with the queen. So we have this as a free pawn right now if we just take it, right? But it breaks away. Then we'd have an isolated queen's pawn. If I played d5, I mean, I'm looking at it as like that could be a free pawn. That's just my thought right here. It opens up my dark squared bishop. Maybe that's good. If I played d5, then we're never going to win that pawn. Well, it's going to be hard. I'm going to take on e5 with the pawn. That's what I did. All right. Now it's getting scarier. He plays knight to e4.
Knight e4. Very reasonable. Okay.
So let me ask you this. What is like the idea of something like knight e4? Is it just to help hold that pawn? Is it because he can't jump in, right? But he's got all of his pieces now kind of, jumping around our king. Is it just to bring another piece, or is there a deeper idea?
He's playing in the center. So the next move that they're going to make is definitely knight c5.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I see. So he's
knight c5 is just a clean hit on the queen and the bishop, and we're not going to have much of a say about it. There's not a way to prevent that move. So
okay. What if we make a threat of our own? Like our knight can jump around too, right? Like we could play.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Like knight d5 would be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. So,
But if we played knight d5 and he did what you just said, like I'd have to like move my queen to defend my bishop immediate. Or well, no, my the bishop's defended with the rook. I'd have to move my queen though, regardless in that position.
mm-hmm. Let's make a knight move.
All right, I'm just thinking knight d5 to put. Yeah, I'm playing it. Knight d5
Yeah.
to attack the dark squared bishop. All right, he. This is the reason I was wondering if this was a bad move or not. He pinned my knight. He played bishop to c4.
Yep. Um,
We can move our queen to d6 now and stop the knight from. Well, the knight. Yeah, if we. Well, no, because the bishop. Dang it, man. Yeah, he's got a good, solid hold on everything.
yeah, let's make a queen move.
Okay. Um, I don't like queen. Man, queen d6 is so that doesn't feel good. And no, I can't play that. What am I talking about? The knight's there. Ridiculous. Sorry. Sorry. Let me draw. This is why I talk. This is why I'm so slow, man. I'm so bad at calculating sometimes.
No, you're good.
Um. So don't have a ton of squares available that defend the e5 pawn still. Are we okay with losing that? I didn't think we want to keep it. I was thinking queen to e8 is maybe a move that is good. I like queen e8. It defends the pawn. It's not getting attacked, or we're stepping out of the pin, and we're threatening the dark squared bishop again. I'm gonna play queen e8.
Queen e8. All right.
So he moved his dark squared bishop back to d2.
Okay.
Um,
Let's make a rook move.
Rook move, like it. Rook to d8. I can only move one rook right now, so rook can either go to c8 or d8. I think d8 is a good square, helping defend the knight. Are we getting into a pickle? Hopefully not. Rook d8 it is. Rook d8 played. They played queen to e3, or queen to g3, sorry.
I was about to say queen
No.
e3. Hell yeah, brother.
No, no. Queen to g3. I was dreaming, sorry, daydreaming.
Yeah. Queen g3. Okay. You're probably better at tactics than I am. I'm
No,
not
I'm
very good at tactics.
Bro, I am a average player at best. I am terrible at tactics. I do puzzles sometimes. I have like 2,000 rating in puzzles, but that's
Yeah.
I, I I actually am too nervous to do the puzzle rushes that you do. I don't
Why?
like I don't like I hate how some of them are so easy and then they're just like, no, here's like, I don't know. I feel like around
Yeah.
30 or so, they're like, no, here's a really hard one that had nothing to do. Like, it's so different from all the other ones you did. It's just kind of,
Right.
it feels, um, like it could be done better, but that's just my opinion.
Right.
Feel like, it should ease you up into them. You go from like one move checkmates, and then it's like, nah, this is a defensive puzzle. Figure it out.
Right. Yeah, I think here a reasonable idea is to make a kind of stuck between two ideas.
I'm glad you have ideas.
All right, let's play a rook move.
Ooh, rook move. I like it. All right. This is not what I thought was gonna happen. A rook move. Rook move. Um, do we want to double? Is that what he's trying to do? Rook d7? Is that a thought? I feel like it's not because then he can't bring the knight in there. At least right now. If we brought the rook over to c8 or b8, I don't know how good that is either. Am I really just silly here? I have no idea. Come on, Nolan. Come on! Come on! Use your Magnus brain. I like rook d7. This is hard for me, man. Like, really hard. Rook
You're
to
doing well. You're doing well.
Rook to c8 is a thought, but it's just behind a pawn. I don't see why we would do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna go with the fact that this is an open file and potentially doubling might be a good idea. I'm gonna play Rook to. If I play Rook d7, he can somehow maybe get his knight there. I'm just worried about it. I'm gonna play. Sugar. I'm gonna play Rook
Oh
to.
no, bro. I accidentally just cleared the whole position.
Uh
I'm not even playing. I
oh.
tried to delete a move that I made flagrantly early on that wasn't part of the line. Okay, hold up. I remember like all of it.
Well, I can tell you what the position is now, and you can start from there if you want.
Nah, hold up. Let me just work. That's so funny.
Don't worry.
Here. Um, here.
I'm gonna do a clap right now because I might cut out this part so people don't have to worry about this. It'll be out of the
Yeah.
video. It's all right. I did a clap. I'll do another clap at the end when you get it. Do you need me to tell you the position?
Um,
I mean, that'd probably help, right?
oh no. It came back up.
Okay, cool. Are you sure?
All right.
Did it work?
Yeah, queen g3, and then we were gonna play a bishop move.
Bishop. Oh, you said rook move. I'm down with the bishop move.
Oh, sorry. No. Rook move. Yeah, rook move.
I could do that too. I don't know. Figure it out. All right. So rook. I wanted to play rook to d7. That's what I wanted to play. I don't like that the knight can go to c5 if they take our knight. I don't like that, but maybe that's not terrible. I don't know. If he takes our knight, I can take with the rook. So
Okay.
I'm gonna play knight or rook d7.
Rook d7. All right.
Was that the idea?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, man.
I don't know.
Oh,
You tell me.
dang it. All right. He played b4. Pretty much, Lee is so confident right now, but they don't even know. We're gonna destroy them very shortly.
All right.
So b4 was played.
Damn, that's a good move. All right.
See, I think it's a garbage move because I think
now it's gonna start getting a bit tactical.
I don't see why we couldn't just take that pawn.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a deeper plan, and you might see the plan, but I think that I could just take that pawn.
All right. Knight move.
Yay. I took the pawn.
Okay.
I hope it doesn't eat us. All right, they take on b4.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That feels scary, right? Because now, I mean, I thought that was a free pawn, but
All right. Bishop move.
all right, bishop takes b4.
Okay.
All right, they play a3.
A3.
Dude, did we do it? Are we good?
What is she
Are we? Yeah,
malfunctioning?
This is what we wanted, dog. I was trying to tell you.
No, this is goofy.
This is good for us. Good. It's not goofy. It's good.
Nah, this is goofy.
This is good.
All right. Bishop.
All right. I need to think. I want to drop the bishop back to a5, really something fierce, and play like bishop b6 and just leave the bishop there. But I think the bishop is good, well served around our king. I can also just take the pawn, right? That's another free pawn. Dude, it's really hard for me to not take that pawn. Really hard. I can't take the pawn though because of the stupid queen. So I can't go. All right. We're going to make red marks because I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm freaking out. I feel like this is what we wanted. We're up 2 pawns and this is good. So, a few moves that I can't do. I can go all the way back to f8. I could do that. I kind of like that. I'm going to just do it because it feels safe.
All right, bishop f8.
Yep. And they bring... All right. This is a cool move. They played rook to f5.
Rook to f5.
And we can't take because our pawn is pinned to the king.
Right. That is correct.
I saw that one, man. I saw that one.
Phew. That's an interesting one.
So
Well,
in my head, I'm looking at the fact that he's got like two pieces hanging if I play like rook to d5, but that's just something that I see. He could defend it probably by I don't know how he would defend everything, but like rook d4 attacks the knight and the bishop. Um,
yeah. Yeah,
but
but there's a little bit more than that. Rook f5 makes a threat, right?
yes, yes.
So, um, okay, let's think a little bit here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to defend ye old e5 pawn. Um,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So, I think this this is going to be kind of complicated
it feels
to,
very complicated because now that I said that move and you were like, no, he's got like a direct threat, and I'm like, oh yeah, he actually does, and it's not easy to deal with really. So
right. Um, I think that we should make a queen move.
okay, well, this is not sometimes these are easy, right? Because I can't play queen to e7, I can't play queen to e6.
Mm-hmm.
I can kind of keep an eye on the pawn by playing queen to b8. So we have like three options, right? Queen d8, queen c8, or queen b8 is what I see. I like queen d8 because it keeps an eye on his pawn still, but we can't take it because of their knight. But it also gives my queen a potential check on b6 if I do that. If I play queen b8, I do feel a little locked at home, but I keep an eye on the pawn. But he can just like take the pawn, right? Like there's nothing really stopping him from doing that. We're up
Mm-hmm.
two pawns. He's going to get one of them back, it looks like. Queen c8
Right.
has kind of a threat. It threatens to maybe move the rook and have a discovery on his rook. Um,
But is he going to leave his rook there?
nah, 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 nah. So I like queen I like queen d8. I think the best. So
Okay.
I'm going to play queen d8.
Queen d8.
He doubles up his rooks. He plays rook c to f1.
Okay, valid. Um,
I like putting the queen on d8 too because we built the battery, right?
mm-hmm.
Um, so my thought here is obviously playing like rook to d1, but I am caveman.
Let's make a rook move.
Ooh. Is it all right? So rook d4, we talked about before, is kind of a decent move.
Mm-hmm.
Rook d1 immediately is kind of like like I mean you can't move that rook anymore. You either need to take or just sit pretty while we decide what we want to do to you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I like rook d4. I'm trying to see, is there like a bad move? Like, is rook d4 a bad move? I don't think that it is. I like rook d4 because it makes a threat. So
Okay.
I'm gonna play rook to d4.
Okay, rook d4.
He takes on f7 with his bishop and check.
That's scary.
I don't think it is. I
Um,
think he didn't have another option. If we take on the bishop now with our king, his rook has to move, which it's going to take the pawn, right?
yeah. Let's
But
play a king move.
king takes f7 happened.
Mm-hmm.
This does feel scary. I do. Ooh. He played knight to g5 check.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Complications.
Trouble in paradise.
Uh-huh. So obviously has to be a king move.
Yep, king move it is for you, my friend.
How close do you think we are to getting checkmated here? I feel like I have to. I want to go back to G7 just to help protect H7, but that might be walking into death's door. I mean, the alternative is I have two moves, right? Like two real moves here. I mean, I can't go to E6, which is kind of where I would like to go, I think, but is knight. If I go to E8, he can take on H7, but our king is kind of running. I was running. Um, dude, this is hard.
Yep, this is hard.
King G8 is definitely feels like I might get checkmated in the next move or two. If I played King G8 and he plays Queen H3 or like what do I do? If he plays Queen H3, I would have to like play like H5 maybe, which also feels not I don't know. Oh my god. King G3. Sorry this is taking me so long. I'm
You're
sure
good.
you've
You're
calculated
good.
it faster than I did, but
You're fine, man. You're doing good.
so if I go King G8, he moves his queen over to A3 or H3. I'm about to get checkmated in one move, unless I could actually play in that position bishop to H6. We might be able to get our pieces in. Can I play bishop H6 there? It blocks the queen. No, I can't because it'd be hanging. Duh. I would have to play H5 to stop that. That feels sad. I'm gonna give up the pawn if I go E8, king to E8. We're gonna get checkmated if I choose the wrong move here. We might get checkmated anyways. I don't see a checkmate. Like I feel like we still survive if I play H5, but it's very uncomfortable and it's not fun. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see the checkmate just to me. I feel like we can defend it.
Yeah.
E8. You agree with that? Because that's what I think. Is G8 is super scary, but I feel like it defends everything. And maybe we could get another piece involved. I don't know. This is so scary. So scary. The thing that I like about being able to play H5 is then I could even maybe think about bringing the rook over to G4. And I don't know. Like, at least I'm in there, like swimwear a little bit. This is so not what I should be doing. King move. King E8, King G8. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What can he do if I go King E8? He's going to take the stupid pawn. We're down a pawn. We're up a piece. I'm going to try and run my king to safety. This might be completely wrong, but I'm going to play King E8.
King E8? Is that what you
No.
said?
Yeah.
You said King E8?
Yeah, I should have played King G8. I see it now.
Oh no. Which piece did he take the pawn with?
Oh my god. Rook E5. This is so
Rook
scary now.
E5?
Yeah. So my plan was to keep running the
Shit.
king, but I don't know if that's
Alright.
going to work anymore.
Um,
Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
dude.
king.
I
King.
tried. I tried. I have one move, so King
Yeah,
D7 it is.
King D7.
He plays Queen to A3 or H3.
Queen H3 check. Um,
King move.
King.
um. All right, dude. This is why this is so hard for me. I'm so bad at seeing this. I want to play King to C7. Pretty bad. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna
King
play.
C7.
Yeah. Sorry.
Say hi
Oh.
to Vincent. Vincent came to say hi.
No. Yeah, so you probably see that we just got uber forked. Um, Knight to E6 is a
Yep.
super check.
King.
God dang it. No. This will be a good one to learn from.
Yeah.
So I played King B6 and he just gave me another check. Now I'm out in the world. I have nothing.
Which check?
Yeah, he played rook to b1.
Rook b1. Is resigning an option at any point?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and resign.
Okay. Oh my god. So I definitely know that I think I could have survived there, but
You were doing so good, bro. Rook d4 was just the wrong idea. It was too slow.
ugh, it was so difficult. I
Yeah,
tried so hard. Oh my gosh, the pressure got to me. All right,
it's okay. It's all good.
let me fix the board. The game review board's a little bit different. So are you ready to go through the review real quick?
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, Hold on 1 second. There we go. Gotta lengthen this. Why is this being such a pain in my butt? Do what I want. All right, there we go. Cool, we're alive. All right, so it all started with e4. We played c5. They played knight to f3. We played knight to c6. And I know that you start off your Sicilians playing this, right? This is the accelerated dragon kind of starting position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So d4, we take on d4. Was that kind of what you had in mind?
Yes. Yeah. E4 take on D4. Or
Yep.
sorry, D4 takes. Yeah.
Yep.
This is the old Sicilian, open Sicilian.
Okay.
Very standard. This translates into like a lot of the mainline Sicilians.
Okay. So they played knight takes d4, just right up, and from here I decided that playing g6 was the move. Was this what you wanted in this position?
Yeah, G6. G6 is how you get into the accelerated dragon, and then he plays C4, Morosi binds.
Yep. So I played. Yeah, he plays c4, and then we played knight to f6.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what you were thinking, right? I think we talked about that one.
For sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He plays knight to c3, and then we played d6. And this is a pretty typical Sicilian position right here, right? I mean,
Definitely.
so after that, he plays, which is another book move actually, bishop to e2.
Yep.
And we followed up with bishop to g7. Was this kind of what your thought process was? Get castled, get fianchettoed?
The move in my notes here is knight takes d4 instead of bishop g7.
Knight takes d4. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think I've seen you play that in games as well. So I do agree that I think that that's a good move here. What's the thought behind it? Is it just that he's going to recapture with the queen, and like what's the thought? I guess is the queen on the dark square the thought, and
Yeah, basically, we get to move his queen around more. We'd rather have the open C file than the open B file. And it gives our light squared bishop more opportunity rather than having a pawn on C6. Having the pawn still on B7 gives our light squared bishop a lot more opportunity. At least that's what I've deduced from my personal study of this position, the difference between the two. When they were able to take on c6, you could tell the c pawn kind of felt weak. It was kind of a backward pawn. It was kind of like a in the way of our light squared bishop in that kind of situation.
okay. Well, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I'll remember that for when I get into these kind of positions, because I would have just definitely fianchettoed, and we did that in the game. I mean, you said bishop, so I moved the bishop,
Right.
and he takes on c6, which is an inaccuracy by the computer.
Right.
It looks like the computer likes bishop to e3 more there. Is that what you see?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think both are pretty normal. I think taking on c6 with the knight is, while it's an inaccuracy, it is something that white can do at some point in this position, and it'd be pretty good for him.
Yeah, it's not game changer, right? Like, I mean, you know, where it didn't harm us ineffectively, and it's not like we have something that just changes the whole game. The fact that he took c6, right?
Right.
So we took on, understandably, right, with c6, and he castles, and I think we do the same. Yep, we castle. He plays now the bishop to e3, which is a good move. The best move for him was bishop to g5, and I think the thought of that is to get that alignment, right, and to still trade off the bishops potentially. Like you just put the bishop there kind of in the meantime so that knight g4 doesn't work as well, right?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why bishop g5 is that much better than bishop e3,
I
to
like
be
bishop e.
honest.
Yeah, I think bishop e3
Yeah.
looks pretty normal, and that's something we see in a lot of our games, right?
Yeah, like what I've started doing with my analysis, my post-game analysis is like I'm not really looking at the difference between the good and the best move because I think that, at our level, if you can play every move as a good move and not a blunder or a mistake or an inaccuracy, you're going to win the game. Like, you don't need to know the absolute best moves. So I find it to be like, it you spend a lot of time and energy trying to figure out the difference between an excellent move and the best move, and it's just kind of like, well, that's not really the needle mover
Yep,
for us
I
at this
agree.
level. Yeah.
Well, we were pretty equal up until this moment. We did play the move bishop to e6, and that was an inaccuracy. Where were you thinking about moving the bishop? Was it bishop to e6 or?
Yeah, I was thinking bishop e6, just
Okay,
developing a piece, pressuring c4,
sure.
inducing b3 at some point to
Yeah,
play a4, a5.
and this isn't
So,
like inherently worse for black. I mean, it went down like to point 0.4, but I think
mhm,
that this is a fine move, right? Like this is one of those inaccurate moves, kind of like their knight taking, right? It's like there's not a real way to like make this a terrible move. Like I think it's fine.
right.
Um,
Hmm.
let's he played queen to a4, which is inaccurate and kind of leveled back out the game. It liked moving the rook over to the c file for them. Um,
Yeah, rook
but
c8's really normal against the any kind of dragon Sicilians just to get the rook off of the long diagonal,
yeah,
and in this case, it makes even more sense to defend the c pawn.
so specifically rook a c8 or c1, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
So okay, and we followed this up with a queen move to queen c7. Was that
Hmm.
kind of what you had in mind here for me, or what?
Yep,
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
Stepping off of the d file,
So I did a good
defending
job
the.
following
Yep.
your advice. That's awesome.
I'm telling you, in general, you did a really good job this game.
I tried, man. It was hard. It got really dicey when I was like, "We're winning," and then I don't know,
Yeah,
it all backfired.
we definitely were. We were winning. I think that there were a couple things that I screwed up as well, so it's not like it's a big deal.
Um,
But
no, I mean it's for fun, right? It's just one of those things
right.
where I get to learn, and now we got to do another one, right?
Oh, for sure. We gotta do one where I'm the hand and you're the brain.
Oh my God, that would be. We got to play a 500 rated bot. Martin, here we come. um, all right, so he played rook to e1 or rook a e1, which is kind of a weird move, right? The computer gives it a thumbs up, but
Yeah,
it's not the best
it's
move.
it's definitely weird.
We played rook to b8. The computer actually liked rook a b8, which is I don't see why we would
Yeah,
give up a pawn.
that's a
Um,
weird one for me.
but I'm gonna just keep it moving. They played b3, which is inaccurate. It wanted them to move the queen and kind of defend that way, and then probably play b3, right? Like to get the queen
Probably.
on the other side. I think is the
Yeah.
idea there. We played, or I like this move that I found this. Knight to d7. I was really contemplating knight to g4. Was that what you wanted me to play, or did you want me to?
Yeah, knight d7 was definitely the move here.
Okay. And it was nice because you had that like that halftime speech, like you sounded like one of them basketball coaches from the movies or something, where you're like, "We're gonna play this positionally, we're gonna win," and I was like, I took that to heart here. So that
Hell
was
yeah, I got all pumped up.
that was inspiration for me. So he played a rook to c1,
Yeah.
and we played knight to b6. So was this what I like? Was this what you wanted, or did you want the knight to jump in the center, or what was your thought here?
I I did want to play knight b6.
Okay, okay,
So that's my bad. But what I was thinking was that we wanted the queen to move. I didn't think that it would stay on the a file.
yeah,
I thought that it would try to like start backing up and going to the other side of the board.
mm-hmm,
And then I was thinking from b6, the knight controls d5 really well. I'm thinking about
yep,
trying to break with d5, like taking
Yep.
one c3 and then playing d5, I'm thinking about how the knight also controls a4. So
Yep.
once the queen moves, playing a5, a4, and undermining his queenside pawns.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that it would be good, but
I liked it too, and that was actually why I went with the move, right? Because I
mhm.
thought, oh, this was a concept that we had for a lot of the game was can we control d5? And I think a lot
Mhm.
of the game we were fighting tooth and nail to see if we could. And this led to a minute where we had to like kind of reroute our pieces a bit. He did play queen to a5, and we followed that with queen to b7. Now, be real, was this what you wanted me to do queen move wise, or
Yeah, it is.
it
I
is?
thought that
Okay.
it was
Because I
a
felt like I
mistake that
messed
I
this
would have
up.
made as well because I mean I just missed c5 100%.
Okay. Because I
Yeah, the
thought,
engine wants knight d5 to try to trade the queens, which makes sense.
yeah, I like the thought of that, right? And that's a little more tactical than I ever play in a game. Usually, like I don't know, I see moves like that sometimes, but they scare me, and so I end up not playing things like that. But I
Yeah.
wasn't considering that in this position at all. I was considering, I think, d7, queen d7, and queen
Yeah. In
b7.
general, like the way that I approached this was I was trying to find ways to kind of like trap our own pieces where like I could give you a piece and it didn't have many options.
Yeah, we did,
And
and
like
we successfully
yeah,
had that happen. But I almost
yeah,
think
yeah,
that I think it was a smart idea because I've only done this, like a few times, right? And this is
yeah.
like you're the highest rated player I've done it with, so I was like super worried about making sure that I chose one of the good options out of all the options. And it got hard when there was only two because I was like, oh my God, like I know if I pick one, I'm like messed up entirely. So
Yeah.
it was kind of funny because it's like a give and take, right? Like sometimes it was helpful, but other times it was like, nope, this is hard.
Yeah, yeah.
He played c5, which we both missed. I didn't see it either.
Yeah.
And I think our follow up, knight d7, was obviously a great move. The computer
Yep.
likes it. He takes on d6, and we kind of knew that that was going to happen. And we recapture on e6. And I evaluated this as probably fine, even though it says white's better here. I think that we still got fighting chances, and I think we're good.
Mhm.
He played f4, and you called this like straight to a T, right? I think he played exactly what you thought he was gonna play. I
Yeah.
moved the knight back to b6. Was that what you wanted me to do here, or were you thinking knight to d5? Or
Knight to b6, knight to d5. I was actually thinking about knight f8.
okay, and
Jeez.
I think I
Yeah.
said that I was like knight f8, no mate, and then I just kind of
Yeah.
disregarded it. But I thought it
Yeah.
was too passive. But
But knight f8 is a massive mistake apparently if you plug it in. F5, bishop d7, f6 comes anyway, and now our bishop is worse. Like, yeah, so that actually would have been really bad if you played knight f8. So,
okay, it was also bad that I played knight b6. So to be
well,
fair,
I mean, I just gave you the wrong piece,
no, it's
but I
okay.
think that yeah, the engine's move here is really cool. It's a tactical shot. Rook e8, defending the bishop tactically because on f5 you just sack the bishop, and pawn takes back. The bishop on e3 is hanging.
Yep, yep. I like that. I didn't see that in the game, right? Like that
Nah,
was
me
that's
neither.
far above my negative vision. So he played bishop to a6 here, which was a mistake. I didn't see why. Um, it was because they wanted me to play queen a7 or e7, excuse me, instead of queen c7.
Yeah,
Um, where you and I think we talked. You wanted queen e7 here, right?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
the reason why bishop a6 is a miss is because it gives us a chance to defend the f6 square.
I got you. And it ended
So,
up biting us. Like this was tough now. Like because
mhm,
he just played f5, right? And I had to back the
yep,
bishop up. Was bishop to c8 the idea?
yep,
Okay, found that one. And he played f6, which is apparently a mistake. It wanted him to take on g6, and I get that because it just opens up the rook file, right? And just he can really start to put pressure on
yeah.
the f7 pawn.
I
Um,
would have played f6 with white. It
I
just looks
I
so
agree.
good.
Yeah, it does. I agree. I agree. I think a human would do that as well.
Hmm.
Like, and it just kicks my bishop out, right? Like a bishop that
Right.
we've worked so hard to make strong this game is now Garbo. Um, I
Yeah.
played
And it
bishop.
wants you to it wants you to sack the bishop. It wants you to just take the pawn for the rook.
Oh my god, yeah, I see that. So
That's so
on mine, it
stupid.
actually says that bishop takes a6 is what it wants.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was reading the wrong bishop move. Bishop takes a6 because it comes with tempo on the rook, I guess. Because if takes on g7, we take on f1, rook takes f1, and then
Uh,
knight d5, forcing a queen trade. Wow.
yeah, that's intense, and that's
Knight d5 is literally granted a brilliant.
yeah, that's awesome, and that's what I mean is like we had that move a couple moves ago, right, as well.
Yeah,
But I don't see things like that a lot of the time, so that's pretty cool tactic.
yeah.
They backed the bishop up just to c4, which is inaccurate, but I think that we both can agree that was kind of a. I didn't think it was a bad move at all, right? Like I didn't feel like we were. I still felt like we weren't out of dodge yet, and I was even. If I was playing this by myself, I was gonna mess up, right? I was gonna play knight takes and hang my queen, but
Yeah, I think that's a really strong move, bishop c4, because it pins the pawn.
yeah,
And like there's so many ideas that he has later of like if we slip up and play h6, then the g6 pawn hangs, and when the queen was on the g file, then we would have gotten mated instantly. And like I
yep,
think trying to place your bishop on that a2 g8 diagonal is just really strong. So
I agree.
yeah.
And I moved the queen over to d7. I didn't know where to move the queen. It liked the bishop to b7 here and just leaving the queen kind of thing. But was
Okay.
this the queen move you wanted?
I wanted queen d7 to go queen e6.
Okay, and
So
that's
like
kind of what
this.
I thought too as well. Is like, well, you can't do it now, but you're threatening the
Hmm.
bishop, right? He wants to keep the bishop, so he's going to move the bishop, right?
Hmm.
Um, I'm glad I was on that foot with you because I was hoping that was your idea was to kind of get on that file and I think
Hmm.
we kind of accomplished that, right? Like because he moved his bishop to d3, and then we did play queen to e6. The computer liked queen e8 better,
Hmm.
but I thought maybe this was fine. I didn't see a reason why e6 was worse. Um, he did play queen to g5 here. What did you think here? Like, what was your thought
Queen
process?
g5, I wanted to put the bishop where you put it on b7 to help control e5, and I
Hmm.
wanted to swing a rook over to the e file to put pressure on the backwards e pawn.
Yep. So we had like the
Um,
same game plan, or
yeah.
I at least found your game plan, which is kind of nice. Um,
Hmm.
the computer doesn't like it, but screw the computer sometimes. I think we played fine here. It was kind of
Yeah.
hard to figure out what to do. He
Knight
blundered.
b7. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we played knight or bishop b7, and then they played e5, which is a blunder, and we saw that. I took with the pawn and wanted me to take with the queen,
Yeah.
but you
I
said
told
pawn
you to
move.
take with the pawn.
Yeah, you told me to. So the reason I thought it was weird because I was like, he said pawn move, and I was like, why would he want me to take with a pawn and mess up our pawn structure? But I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take. It's a free pawn. I got to. Um, he brought the knight in to e4, and we also played a knight move, knight to d5. Was that the knight move you were thinking? Because I think it's
Yep.
one of the only ones. He then pinned my knight, and I was like, Austin, I know you have a game plan. I know you got one. And you
Yeah.
told me queen move, and I moved queen e8. Was that the idea, or was that not what you
I'm gonna
wanted?
be honest. No, you played a better move than I thought. I was thinking queen d7,
Okay.
which is actually like a bit of a mistake because it allows bishop c5. Um, but I was thinking bishop d7 because I wanted to put the queen on the open file. I wanted to have eyes on c6,
Okay.
and I can't remember what else. I think I was thinking in that position potentially playing like knight b6 or some idea.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking that he can't take. I was like, trying to get a little fancy with it. Like he can't take on e5 because then we can play rook e8.
And it's just a big old doom. You got three pieces lined up, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I like that. I also here I was like looking at just taking the dark squared bishop whenever I had a free chance. So
Right.
that was part of my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
With queen or keeping the queen on the file was keeping that pawn defended and then trying to take that bishop. They backed the
Right.
bishop up, which is a mistake. It wanted them to really just pressure our king. I think that them backing the bishop up made sense. Bishop to d2.
Mm-hmm.
We followed that up with putting a rook on the d file. Was that the file you wanted the rook on?
Yep, for sure.
Okay. So he backed the queen up to f3, which... All right, f3. I've said this wrong in the game, too. g3.
Yep.
And we then kind of missed an opportunity. It wanted a5 is what it looked like. But I played
Yeah.
rook to d7. Was that... Did you want to double rooks here? Was that the thought, maybe? Or was rook...
Yeah, I wanted rook d7.
Okay. Because I was confused. I was like, man, maybe doubling is bad. I didn't know. But I thought maybe you thought the position would open and we would be eyeing that bishop.
Exactly.
So this was a funny moment because this is when I felt confident. I was like, that pawn is hanging. And we talked about it, and I took the pawn. It is a
Yeah.
poisoned pawn, bro. Super poisoned. And the computer is like, no, you should have played knight to b6.
Yeah, I could tell that you really wanted to take it, so I was like, screw it, let's do it.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's worse for us by far, but they didn't play the right way either. They played a3 after.
yeah, a3 makes no sense. Rook b1 is what I was afraid of. Opening the b file, attacking the white squared bishop that already is like pretty limited with the squares it can go to.
Yep.
So when I saw a3, I was like, hell yeah. And then you played bishop f8, and
I
bishop f8 is what I wanted. I was like, let's go back. Let's just defend our king and take the material because I didn't see a good follow up for him. But apparently he had h4 just starting the kingside attack.
Yep.
But I thought that our bishop would be well suited to help defend against it.
It was down for us to even trade off that knight. Like that's what it was trying to do. I like what we did, though it is passive. The computer is like, no, bro. So apparently their rook move to f5 is a blunder. We did not find why, though. We played queen to d8, which is not bad, right? The computer wanted c5. Is that what you see as well?
Yeah, I don't understand c5. I'm trying to look at the line now. Rook e1 after that.
I think that it's a deep idea just limiting that knight from ever going to that square if he moves the bishop. Is that
Yeah.
a valid thought, maybe?
I think the reason for it is simply to take the knight. I think the knight
Okay.
is so strong that it wants to play c5 to open up the light squared bishop.
Okay. So that makes sense, too. All right.
Yeah, 'cause that knight ended up being the one to roast us.
Yeah, it definitely did. I'm going to have nightmare tonight. So they played, let's go back. They played rook to f1, another mistake, and then I straight up blunder with rook to d4. It wanted queen to b6. Were you thinking about playing rook to d1? Was that what you wanted me to play?
I wanted rook c7.
Whoa. I would not have seen that. I did not think that that's what you wanted, but I guess that makes sense. What can you talk me through kind of what the thought was with rook c7?
Yeah, basically, after he takes on e5 with the rook, then we have the check on d4 with the queen.
Oh!
The important part is that the rook stays on the 7th rank to defend the f pawn.
Yes.
This was like a heavy,
I see
this
it
is
now.
a heavy move. Okay.
No,
So,
yeah, your rook is still
yeah.
defending f7 and the bishop. We'll
Yeah.
put it that way too. The bishop is loose. Our bishop is loose
Yeah.
as well, and it allows the queen to get the scope that we oh so wanted. And I think the computer's move, queen to b6, is the same idea, right? It's just attacking down that file with the check. I like your move better than what they said. Well, I like the
Well,
rook move. I like that.
what
Um,
ends up happening with queen b6 is after the rook blocks, because if you move the king, okay, if you move the king, it's the same idea. It leaves the rook on the d file while simultaneously getting the queen to d4 while simultaneously hanging on to the e pawn. So it's just like the best of every situation. And
yeah.
then even after that, it wants bishop takes f7. But then we have rook takes f7, and that's the big difference. And then
Yep.
if he tries to play like knight g5, then we're not obliged to take anything. We're up a ton of material. We can just play like bishop a6 and then attack the rook, loosening up the back rank as well, and like, yeah, we can just sack the exchange back, basically, is what I'm saying.
Well, instead we had my shallow sided rook move, rook to d4 blunder. They find the best move. They take with their bishop on f7. We recapture with the king. They play knight to g5, and
Yep.
I went to e8. It says that's the best move, but we know that it was very scary. Um, so you think knight g8 was better though, like or more playable?
No, no, it wasn't. I think that we were screwed either way. I
Yeah.
just like against I don't know. It didn't really make a difference, to be honest. Like I probably would have played king g8,
I was
but
looking at it
it's
because I saw that we could get h5 in maybe, but it's still
mhm.
terrible. Or it feels so bad, right? Like it doesn't feel good. Um,
Yeah.
so
It's basically hope chess, because what I would be hoping is that they after knight g5, king h8, or sorry, king g8, my dream would be that they would not play f7 check. I mean, it's such a natural move to play, but basically after king h8, he takes on e5 with check with the queen, and then it's kaput. So it doesn't matter. Like we were just so cooked either way.
right, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it wasn't. It didn't feel good. The computer is like, you're
Hmm.
dead. We played king. He gave me the check on e5 with the rook. We played king to d7. He gave me a check with the queen on h3. It wanted me to actually play king to d6, but like you said, I don't think. Um, I don't know. It's still a gigantic, scary fork, and it's we would have lost material regardless. Um,
Yeah, nothing was saving us.
no. So I played king to d or to b6, and he basically, I mean, checkmate's coming. He played rook to b1,
Hmm.
and we resigned. So.
Yeah, that's enough of that.
But I think I mean, honestly, I think we played pretty well. Like, for hand and
Yeah.
brain, it's really hard to, like, figure out, obviously what you're thinking. But I had a little advantage because I played the Sicilian, right? So it
Hmm.
felt kind of normal, some of the moves we were making. Um,
Right.
but dude, that was great. I definitely want to do this again. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good time. Like I said, next time we gotta switch it up so that I'm the hand and you're the brain.
Oh my god, I'm so nervous. I got to study. You're gonna have to wait 2 years until I'm
Mhm.
2000
It's
or
not.
whatever.
I think it can be more fun when the higher rated
It probably
player
can. I
is.
like that. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
it's
actually
just
down. And no,
because I'm gonna like think about what the best move is, and you're gonna say some other piece, and I'm gonna be like, ah.
hang that queen, Botez Gambit. Man, I had a blast today. I hope you did too. I know our fans are going to love this, and they're probably going to want another one. So I'm looking forward to doing this again with you, man.
Yeah, man, looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Austin, thank you so much for doing this with me, man. I really love the collab, and we're gonna do more in the future. So,
Yeah, thanks for the invite, bro.
yeah, man. Later, guys.